All right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Thank you for giving me a couple minutes to get set up here. Welcome to your monthly forecast. We're going to be taking a look at our reading today for the sign of Cancer. And what we're going to be focusing on is energies, opportunities, potential challenges. The entire purpose of this, of course, is to inform, to empower, and to prepare. So always a pleasure to be here, always an honor to be here. Today, as I was waking up in the morning, I got a lot of energy around rapid movement, and we're going to talk about this as we get into the channeled messages. The main figure that came through in dreams as far as totems was a rabbit. And it was a very interesting one because it was a rabbit that was escaping a cage. So it's basically about liberation. Liberation and then abundance that follows. So let's jump into that, and then we'll get into the Celtic Cross. So I always like to begin, like I said, with basically my connection to intuition. So I get a lot of messages through dream interpretation, and this allows me to bring specific spirit-based information that isn't going to come from the cards. So again, there were three major things that I got from this. Freedom and fairness, they go hand in hand. Speed, things are moving faster for you. And then also, this is opening you up to more abundance and more growth. So let's talk a little bit about the rabbit and how I met it in dreams. So there was a caged rabbit sitting next to me. And of course, like the first thing I did was open the cage. I noticed that the rabbit was irritated. I think for some of you, you could have been sort of just getting out of a relationship that was really restrictive. Maybe there's a job situation that hasn't allowed you to kind of spread your wings. There's something sort of around peripherally that seems to be sort of not allowing movement. So the first focal point for you this month is to release any sort of caged energy, any sort of barriers, blocks, etc. I had a choice of cards. Can't really feature more than one on these unless it kind of gets cramped. But I was like, what's the antithesis of the devil? It could either be the Empress because the devil wants to control you, so the Empress is in control. But it's also the Fool because the Fool walks away free and is not encumbered by any of the trappings of the devil. So here are the things that you can do to embrace this fresh start. Unconditional love towards yourself and others. In the case of this sort of wild hare, it's something that needs to be free. It shouldn't have been in a cage. So I opened it up because I had unconditional love. If it was going to stay, it was going to stay. If it was going to go, it was going to go. Fair contracts, also the antithesis of the devil. Making sure that both parties are getting exactly what is deserved and what is fair. Organic meetings and organic sort of love connections. You're either feeling it or you're not. So if you're set up, if you're trying to convince yourself in a match that you've made on a dating app or website, but it doesn't feel right, trust in the authenticity of the lack of connection or the actual connection. You can't fake chemistry. Room to breathe. When you're in a cage, there's not enough room. And I talked a little bit about this, I believe, in the daily card pull, because I remember talking about this. Needing to have, it was a couple days ago maybe, but just needing to have that room to breathe. And sometimes what happens is it's kind of like a potted plant. Yeah, it was today's because it was the Five of Pentacles. It was the rose. I was talking about the fact that sometimes that can just indicate environmental factors. You know, in a relationship or a job, it could be sort of toxic energy around you that doesn't allow for growth. Specifically, like when we look at potted plants, you have to get pots that are bigger than the plants, and you have to continually assess if the roots have enough room to grow. So in your life, same thing. Do you have enough freedom at work to express yourself, to do what you need to do? In relationships, are you giving one another the breathing room that you need? Things of that nature are definitely important, okay? And then finally, the last two sound easy, but it takes time. Honesty and transparency. Say how you feel in the kindest words. Be transparent about what you're trying to do when, again, especially with respect to work or relationships, and good things will come out of that. So freedom and fairness was the main message, believe it or not, that little rabbit taught me. The next thing is keeping up with an increased pace of movement. So rabbits move quickly. They also reproduce quickly. And basically, there's a little bit of, we'll talk about it when we get to the Queen card, which is next, but managing your energy, managing your resources, managing your affairs, all of that. But this is one of the fastest cards, and you even see him sort of charging forward, this Knight of Swords. Communicate progress, ask questions, be proactive. All of those things are part of that, and that's why I chose the Knight of Swords. Words, actions, and ideas can travel quickly, more quickly than before, and so you can make these rapid shifts in your trajectory that may have been a little bit more difficult before. And of course, this is like a familiar or an animal that's featured on the Queen of Pentacles. I might use this deck today. I'm going between the sort of Celtic one that I did on the weekend, and sometimes I just like the traditional Rider-Waite, but this is the Radiant Waite because you can see that rabbit just a little bit easier there. Several cycles of abundance. Basically, rabbits will produce several litters in a season. And so what's cool about this is you have a chance to make up for lost time. Make up for lost time when it comes to learning, working, making money, making friends, basically growth, anything that's integral to your growth. And so focus on something right now because you're going to see both an energetic shift and also an energetic return on investment. So these are good things. And yeah, the Queen of Pentacles comes through because of the rabbit, and she's really good with getting management and a sort of a control over money, but also she sort of has a green thumb. So anything that she puts her energy into, again, we see this movement. It's a fertile and abundant period, providing that you keep up with the pace and you communicate and ask questions about anything that's going on, and provided that you are working with all of these sort of attributes that we see here: unconditional love, fair contracts, and honesty and transparency above all else. I think it's pretty good news for you. I have to say that as I'm looking at all of this. So I'm excited to see how this factors out in the cards. And let's get started. So now we're going to move to the Celtic Cross. Let me just zoom in because we're way too wide on that. There we go. And let's get started. I think I'm just going to use this because this is cool. It's a little hard to shuffle, but the images on it are great and a little bit easier to see than the traditional Rider-Waite. Okay. Plus, I believe there's a few rabbits in this deck as well, so that's probably why it was calling to me. Well, it's about change. We got death right off the bat, and it's death reverse, so an end to stagnation. I'll take it. You taking authority and control. I mentioned Emperor, Empress energy is also an antithesis to the devil, ending of a cycle, lots of synchronicities already. I have a feeling it's going to be a powerful reading today. A lot of good growth with money. We're liking it already. Okay. Lots of energy around control and taking control. Very close to, okay, so if the cycle hasn't ended, it's very close to completion because we've got a lot of nines coming through. Success is on the horizon. It's a good reading. Yeah, I've already done the quick mini read here. I really like the overall trajectory. We see success, and you've got 3 9 cards. Yeah, you got the 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands. So that's pretty amazing, actually. And we don't want or need the 9 of Swords because it's not an auspicious card. So you've got the best of the 9s, and then you have the cycle that wants to end, and then you have all of these power cards coming in and a success card. I like it. Let's expand it, and then let's get into the forecast. All right, I'm going to go with a different, I want to use an animal totem deck for your catalyst. Okay, we've got the owl. Owls have been coming up left and right lately for everybody, it feels like, as I've been reading. So wisdom, keeping your eyes and ears open. Moving quickly. Actually, owls move pretty quickly and deftly. Sandpiper, interesting. Let's use Ganesha for wealth, since some of you may be trying to move through things there. Okay, health, wealth. Love. Intimacy? Yeah, interesting. Okay. And let's get a destiny card. And we'll go from there. Actually, I'm going to use a different one for destiny. Okay, let's get everything as organized as we can here and begin with your catalyst. So the catalyst this month is the owl. A lot of times in different decks, you'll see this connected to justice. You'll see it connected to the Queen of Swords. It's about leaning into knowing what's right and doing what's right. And sorry, my Nine of Cups flew off the deck or flew off the desk. So it's leaning into knowing and doing what's right. And it's also a card that I would associate also with research. So if there's anything that you don't know or you need to know, this is a time to really focus on that. I'm also looking at the replay. It's interesting that when the Nine of Cups fell off the desk, it then ended up upright. So we're going to leave it upright. It flipped on us. After I pulled it, it flipped. So this is a variable. We'll just remember that as I get into it. All right, so try to go into data-driven decisions. Try to say that 3 times fast. I could have chosen easier words. Stick to the facts, folks, is what I'm getting with this. And then also you may be starting to receive information, ideas, and downloads early in the morning or late at night. I tend to work as an early in the morning sort of person. I'll wake up 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and I get a lot of great ideas then. At the end of the day, not so great. I'm tired and I want to go to sleep, but I do wake up early. So if there's something where even though everyone else is sleeping, you're getting ideas, just go when the muse strikes, basically is what I would say with that. Excuse me. Let me take a quick drink and then we're going to go into the Celtic Cross now. So again, the Celtic Cross is going to take us through the next 6 to 8 weeks. And the goal here is that nothing's truly set in stone here. These are opportunities and areas where you can improve. All right, so the biggest and most important is the center card here. We have the Death card and it was reversed. Death in reverse is saying something's overdue, something is perhaps stagnating, and we want to ease in or lean into transformation and change. Sometimes it's scary because, you know, what's predictable is what, it feels like it's easier, but there could be some really beautiful thing on the horizon that's waiting for you. All you have to do, like in the Four of Pentacles, is let go of that thing that you're holding on to so tightly. So for some of you, there's just, what's the best way to articulate it? There's a little bit of caution or discomfort with respect to ambiguity because change is just that. There's a little level of unknown with that. So try to embrace it like the Fool and just say, I'm going to take that first step and see where it goes. The other thing is mourning and release. So it doesn't have to be the death of a person. It can be the death of an era in our life. So for those of you that are just graduating from high school, college, or some other program, and you're going to enter into the workforce, that's the sort of end of the first stage of your life where you're younger, you're educating yourself, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to go out there and discover what's out there. And it's sort of like not the end of an innocence, but it is sort of like the first stage in growing up. If you've lost a partner, a friend, a parent, a pet, this is also something where you realize, wow, we have to keep moving forward. If you've just moved into a house or if you've just gotten out of a divorce or something, all of these are life stage events and they happen. Life continues to happen. Big things come in, big things exit, and you're still standing, like that old Elton John song. And that's basically it. You're still standing. You're here with me today. We're going to help you firm up the foundation and build on top of it. And that's really what this month is about. And that's kind of your, we'll see, it might be the title, but yeah, not only are you still standing, but I think you can thrive in this month if you'd like to, based on these beautiful cards that we have in front of us. The first thing is to take the wheel and say what it is that you want to do and where you want to go. So the Emperor card is the ultimate boss here, and he's unafraid, unencumbered, and he's just going to say, yeah, let's do this. It's so interesting. I have this, I might pull it up on my phone. I was taking a hike yesterday and there was something like that, whether it's an eagle or a hawk. That was also kind of haunting me. We could have pulled it, but it actually showed up in totems here. So here we go. I have it ready. I'm looking at that, and I met this yesterday while I was taking a hike, and it's totally connected to this card. Isn't it, folks? You can't kind of make those things up. So one thing that I think of, there it is. When I think of that, I'm thinking of getting a bird's eye view. So just like that eagle hawk whatever it was. This is a chance for you to get the bird's eye view and then come down and say, I've done my research, I've done my homework, and I know how I want to do this. Because an empowered view is going to really kind of get people behind you as a leader. You can even say, yeah, there's so many synchronicities when I do readings. Like I stumble into something or hear something and then I pick up the cards. I'm like, it was that. It was just that. And I couldn't stop looking at it yesterday. So we'll talk about it. It's an honorary totem for today. But what I liked about this bird is it was having the time of its life. If you look at it, it just kept flying around, and I took tons of, actually, here's another one. So it just seemed to really enjoy, and it wasn't putting a lot of effort into it. So one thing that I would say here is that leadership can be effortless at some point if you really feel comfortable and really trust in what you're doing. Look at how it's not like moving its wings at all. It's just kind of adjusting a little bit and gliding. So dare I say, this next level of change for you could kind of be like that. You could just sort of glide along. Isn't this? I actually posted this on my Instagram story. So if you don't follow me on social media, you should. Sometimes I put fun stuff like that in the stories. It's at Nicholas Ashbaugh, so you can see it there if you want to look at it later. But yeah, I think this could be easy. This could be fun. It could be maybe difficult to just to get out there and spread your wings a little bit, but once you do, it's going to be easy. Take it from the bird that I met last night when I did a sunset hike, which was so fun because that's the first time I've done it since I had a broken foot last year. So it was nice to just get out in nature a little bit. So ease into change, spread your wings, do your homework, do your research, and then just imagine that this could be easy this time. All right. Now let's take a look at karmic energy. What's coming up from the past? What do you need to focus on releasing or embracing to understand what's going on? So we have the Eight of Cups here. It's reversed. And it's basically saying exactly what I talked about earlier. Don't force the flow of energy. Because if you look at this, you can kind of see this beautiful waterfall here. When the card is reversed, it's kind of going against the flow. Or it's, again, forcing something that doesn't feel right or doesn't easily work for you. So I would say let it be easier this time around. We just had an eclipse recently, a penumbral one, so a very subtle one. It was a lunar one. We also had a solar one recently. But the eclipses basically revealed to us things that we might have forgotten, things that have been kind of pushed under the surface. So an Eight of Cups card, upright or reversed, represents a period in time where you're kind of looking back and thinking, one, why did I do what I did? How did I get here? Why did I do that? Am I checking with the overall sort of goals and paths that I originally wanted to do? If not, what am I going to do to create some realignment in my life? Making and breaking cycles. Typically breaking a cycle when the card is reversed. So with this card in reverse and the Death card at the center, you will successfully break a cycle. You can successfully create a cycle. It's not about rinsing and repeating here. Something new and getting rid of something old, possibly both if you want to. This can be also something where you leave the door open. We talk about this a lot when I see this card. So if you leave, say, a job, or if you move away from a group of friends, that's not it. There's going to be people reaching out to you in the future, unless you put a hard stop on something. In a relationship, if it's a bad relationship, be very clear that you don't want to hear from them again. But otherwise, it can be good. It can show that there's other ways for this relationship to basically evolve, if you will. I really like the recent past. If you're watching me live, I'm doing this reading at the second week of May, basically. This is what's happening because it's recent past, but we're looking in the future. So you have to wrap your head around that. But basically, Nine of Pentacles is showing that you are getting a grasp on your money. And by the way, I love that we see like, I think this is a hawk, but she's basically sending out a request, some information. She's looking for some intel of some sort, and she's listening to that as well. Lots of birds in this reading. Communication. Birds typically are connected to air or swords. So listen, ask, read, research, inform, and really get into your financial sort of details. So, are you happy with where your money is, how much you're receiving, all of that. If not, your informed sort of approach is going to increase abundance overall. What I love about the Nine of Pentacles, we don't have it in this particular card, but slow and steady. It's not an overnight Jack and the Beanstalk sort of thing. So there's normally a garden snail on this one, but it doesn't need to be there to remind you that it just takes time to create something beautiful. Ten of Pentacles is the tree of life, and you get all of that abundance and everything. And like a tree, you want good sort of ground, good rooting, good sort of structure overall. And that's what you're doing right now, is putting some finishing touches on your financial and your resource sort of store of energy and knowledge. Don't rush. Don't rush yourself, and don't let others rush you. But do finish what you intended to complete. This is a chance to really make up for lost time. And it may have been snail's pace up until this point, but at some point, with all the birds and with the rabbit that I saw in my dreams, I feel like things are going to take off in the near future for you. All right, looking at your crowning card, it's a change of perspective. The Four of Cups is reversed, so that's meaning that you're starting to look at things from a different angle. If we look at it really close up, you can see that the universe has placed an option just to the right, just to the left of this person. They just have to be able to get over this. And this could also be connected to this. Something or someone that was lost, something that didn't happen in the time that they wanted. Maybe the three of them represent gossip, or being tired of dating and exploring options. And so this is basically saying, don't feel like the world is like things are happening to you, they're happening for you, and you're co-creating that narrative. So you could also say, show me something better. I'm ready for an upgrade. And if we look at a traditional illustration for it, that remaining cup in the Four of Cups is basically like a Rider-Waite-Smith hand coming in and one of the aces. All the person has to do is say, oh, I'm open to that, or I hadn't thought about that, but that doesn't mean that this isn't good. So here it is. So literally, if we take this card, hold on a sec, because I got cards all over the place. All right. So if we take this card and I just cover up the four at the bottom, it's a grumpy Ace of Pentacles is what it is. Or sorry, Ace of Cups. You take the sort of this off, and you can actually, we have Three of Cups and an Ace of Cups kind of superimposed on the same thing. So Three of Cups can be worrying too much about comparing yourself to what others think and they're doing, and that's also a part of this. So don't worry so much about that consensus. Focus on, is it right for me? Do I like this? And then also opening yourself up to thinking there could be something better. These other things didn't work out because there is something better. I just need to look around a little bit. I need to be open, because if you're closed to it, then you just miss out on something potentially. So a change of perspective is what we've got with that. So near future is really encouraging you to, it's not like you have to be a CEO or have tons of experience or education. It's just saying take the lead. With a dog, that's kind of like what you would call a leash here, but take the reins, take the lead, and that lead will give you the first steps towards leadership. So it's just basically stating intent, stating desire, going a different direction if you need to, and also stepping up to the plate if you have a chance for leadership, for feedback. On this, very interestingly enough, we see the Wheel of Fortune kind of as a decal, if you will, on the Chariot. And I haven't noticed that one before. One other interesting thing is this sort of, you'll see like black and white a lot on different cards. The choice between your path, like the success in your life, let's just put it that way. It's not like one path is better than the other. There are different experiences that have varying degrees of ease and frustration or opportunity, and you just have to weigh the options. So it's not about black and white. When you take the lead, you're going to start to see success and money and opportunity, starting a new cycle, and it's just about taking the first step. And again, you don't have to worry about making decisions for everyone. Just make decisions for yourself. And don't worry so much about what mom, dad, sister, brother are thinking. Focus more on you. Speaking of you, nice transition. This card is in flux because I pulled it this way. And then as I was pulling the extended forecast here, it fell on the floor. And then when I grabbed it, it was upright. So what I'm going to do is read it in its new position because it's more favorable. And I'm saying you're potentially on a rebound. You may have just gotten through a really difficult period and things are getting better. But as they get better, just as if I keep doing this, you're going to say, Nicholas, stop, I'm dizzy. It can be a little discombobulating when things shift and you start to ask yourself, when's the other shoe going to fall? When's something going to go wrong? Don't ask that. Instead, say, thank you, universe. Help me adjust to this new and beautiful normal in my life, because we're always reestablishing what normal is. And there's no reason that this can't be some new form of normal. So you are getting your footing. Some days are better than others, but by and large, there's a lot of blessings. And the Nine of Cups, which had a mind of its own, it's saying, don't despair. Look at the blessings, look at the opportunities, celebrate the little victories, have some fun as well. This is actually, this and the Three of Cups are invitations to spend some time with people that you care about. So say yes to a wedding invitation, say yes to a work party, say yes to a networking event for work, say yes to taking a day trip with someone. Do something for yourself, go to the park, go to the library, go to a cafe. Do something that feeds the soul and makes you happy. And in doing so, you're going to find your grounding and you're going to find your footing. Okay? It's a beautiful card, and I love that it had a mind of its own. We're working with energy, so I pay attention to if a card flips out or if a card turns around, because that's spirit working. Okay, enough with the 4 and the 5 of Cups. These are both about perspective shifting. The first, there is a nuance between the two, if you ever wondered. So this one is simply just missing an opportunity because your attention's focused on something else. So it's a blessing in disguise. This one can actually be someone that's waiting for you. So the card came through reversed. We have 2 cups in the background. Cover up the 3 cups that are upside down, and that could be love and partnership. It could be business opportunities. It could be a couple of cool things on the horizon. But this many times is shown as a card of mourning, and it nicely factors in with this, change and mourning. So the change and mourning are also affecting this. So an opportunity and potentially love or friendship or partnership. We don't want to miss out on that. Yes, this is challenging. Yes, these might give you a headache because it's more control and power than you want to kind of deal with. But look at this. That could be something really exciting. A great offer on the horizon, and love, partnership, or friendship. I like that. That's the hidden. That's what's beneath the sort of the veneer here. So we want to pull that back a little bit and embrace those things. Those are your hidden opportunities. In the throes of change, you're getting something cool that makes you happy, and someone that wants to kind of help connect you to, again, something else, a cool connection and a cool opportunity. So I like that. What's it all leading up to? Hopes, fears, and opportunities. Some of you might just be afraid of being seen or succeeding because it's on the horizon for you. When you are more successful, more visible, more accountable, people are looking at you. There's more sort of, there's more accountability. So there could be that. This can also be peer pressure, family pressure. So when we kind of say words like you're destined for success or you'll never fail, or parents are already deciding what you are going to do for a living. Well, you're gonna have don't do what I did. You're gonna do a good job that pays a lot of money and secure or something like that. Just you live your life, let them live their own life, and it's not a vicarious occasion, your life. It's your own experience. So try not to get in your headspace about a fear of failure. Some days will be better than others. Some things that you do will be better than others. It's a batting average. It's over time that matters from a soul perspective. So just keep showing up. You'll get better. It will get better. You will improve. You will succeed. Success sometimes just boils down to stubbornness and perseverance. The people that just keep doing it get better, usually, especially if they love what they're doing or they really want to improve. I'll take that over someone that has, back when I used to be a hiring manager, I would take potential and good work ethic and just a good attitude over someone that was talented but disconnected or lazy. because that other person could eventually get to the same level and beyond because they had the hunger, the thirst, the desire, the passion than this other person that would just stagnate. So just keep going at it. You'll eventually get better than you even imagined that you could. Okay. And success. I recently was talking to someone who reads in Akashic Records and does a different kind of reading, but we were talking about success, and she was asking me a good question back, which was, success is very sort of subjective. What are your? All she cared about, she said, what do you quantify success to be? Fulfilling. If it's about fulfillment, then you've got it. If it's about money, work on this. If it's about attention, work on this. But if you want to, I was asking a question about something I was working on. She said, you will be fulfilled and it will successfully accomplish a soul goal or contract. I was like, okay, that's success. It's not always about money. It's not always about grades. It's not always about attention or likes. It's, did I do what I set out to do? Did I make a difference? Did I finish something that was important to my journey on the planet? And you can do all of that. The card wouldn't come if it wasn't possible. It's just a matter of put your own definition behind success. Easier said than done, especially when it's mom, grandma, boss, teacher, and they're so used to putting these labels and boxes around things. But we're here to unbox and rip off the labels because they don't matter on a soul level. All right. Your outcome card is auspicious. It's reversed, but it's still good. 9 of Wands is basically nobody's fool. It's like the Energizer Bunny commercial. It will not stop until the job is done. And we can see this person a little worse for the wear here. He's wearing a sling, so he might have like a fractured elbow or sprained arm or something like that. But it's not stopping him. He showed up and he's like, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish what I started. So I like that level of stubbornness. And if you are going to use stubborn energy, use it to push through to the end of something that you really care about. Focus also on a couple of things here. We'll look at this when I get into health in a few moments. Standard disclaimers always apply. I'm not a doctor. So if anything's going on with your health, obviously work with a professional. However, with the 9 of Wands, especially 9 of Wands reversed, stress headaches are typically a part of that. You can push yourself in exercise or work to the point that you pull a muscle, break a bone, sprain an ankle, etc. It doesn't have to just be here. Normally you would see the bandage here. We see it here. It's basically just saying don't go from 0 to 180, particularly when it comes to exercise or work. We need more of a gentle revving up to that higher octane. And then eventually you want to delegate. You don't have to do all of this on your own. Okay. So all of that, but some good news before we go into the expanded forecast. Change for the better, increased ability to step in and feel good about your sort of like confidence. I see confidence building here. So self-worth, self-control, self-confidence, success on your own terms, completion of something really special. And this time you're going to enjoy it because before you weren't. So I want you to really be enjoying all these 9s that are coming through. You're just a step away from all the sort of like beautiful spoils here. 10 of Pentacles. That's like love, marriage, money. 10 of Wands, moving on, moving up, moving out. 10 of Cups, also love and partnership and popularity and all of that. So they're the 3 best 10s that are on the horizon for you. Why would you stop? This is exactly where you need to be right now, okay? Now we're going to expand the forecast to look a little bit deeper at the energies of health, wealth, love, and destiny. Again, the disclaimers below, which is I'm not a replacement for financial, medical, or psychological advice, but I am a tarot reader and I can help you see energetic openings and you can decide what to do with that. Looking at the health card, we have a sandpiper spirit and it's saying have some fun, be playful. I like that. And that very much connects to this one, which was the flip around card. So it was originally like this, which could be sadness, frustration, or just a lack of fun. And upright, it's saying, you know what, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to connect with people. I want some other people at the table. So you're going to invite, maybe you'll have a party, maybe you'll accept an invitation to it. Whatever. The sandpiper's saying this is good for your energy. I like that the sandpiper is also sort of skipping along these lilies. Basically, these are water lilies, but also looks like lotus blossoms here. Whenever we look at water lilies or lotus blossoms, there's a reminder here that they have to push through a lot of levels of muck and junk and mud and sort of silt and all this stuff to get to the surface. So it's worth the journey. You're very close to something exciting. Have some fun and know that eventually you're going to be blossoming like these lilies, okay? Now let's look specifically at some of the health messages. I already talked about the Nine of Wands, so don't push yourself too hard. And if you are having stress headaches, definitely take a break. I was doing physical therapy the other day and they were pushing me a little bit too much and I started to get dizzy. I'm like, I think we're done for today. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath. I'm gonna go get some fruit to get some sugar in my system and just breathe a little bit. We're good. Know your limits. Don't be pushed too far. No one knows your body but you, okay? If you haven't been moving enough, or if you're sitting in a space where there's a lot of junk around you that needs to be moved around, we need to clear the stagnation in the energy around you. All of those things are key. This is a card where they're sitting a lot. They're sitting in the chariot as well. So again, just gentle movement of the body, whether it's swimming or walking, that can all be actually quite beneficial. These two are connected, Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups. There could be some of you that are, I told you before, you can successfully break a cycle, but there could be some sort of an addictive or let's just say not optimal energy that's in your periphery. So walk away from that. If there's any triggers, ask for some help and support so you don't kind of go back into a self-medicating sort of habit there. For each of us, it can be different. It can be addiction to food or alcohol or work. We have all kinds of escapes, folks. Exercise, you can do too much of anything, and we don't want to go to extremes. These cards can be extremes, so we want to avoid that. Moderation is your friend. And I really think that's about it for what we're looking at here. Most of the cards are pretty good. All right, we're going to now move along to wealth. So you can be unemployed, a student, working, or retired when I'm reading any of these cards. We're going to look at the first card as if it could cover all of those categories, which it can. And it's really asking you, are you happy? Capacity to love. Do you love what you're doing with your time? So students, do you like your major? People that are working, do you like your job? People that are looking for work, look for a job that you like. And people that are retired, now you should be spending time doing things that bring joy. If joy is absent, it's a common thread today if you're picking up on it. If joy is absent, then your ability to grow and your ability to reach great new heights is also diminished, and we don't want that. We want you to be able to thrive. All right, so let's look specifically at wealth and money. I like that the Nine of Pentacles is here. I like that I pulled the Queen of Pentacles because of the rabbit. So I really think you're going to be able to get there fast if you want to. By not taking any shortcuts, that's the key. This card doesn't take shortcuts. It just keeps working, pushing through, and then eventually there's like a breakthrough, which I like. The main thing that we're looking at with respect to money, contracts, legal stuff, in this situation, you need to be the boss or you need to read up on it. Or have someone around you that can be like this wise owl. And that's going to be beneficial. New jobs, new opportunities can come from unexpected sort of like angles and connections. Some of this, again, would kind of beg you to say yes to some of those invitations so that you can talk about what you're trying to do, and you might be surprised by what kind of advice and opportunities people might offer up. So there could be a hidden support system here. There could be a hidden opportunity. You just have to kind of like communicate it. What's missing from this is swords. Yeah, no swords. So we have it in the form of the birds, but that's not enough. I really want to see like the Knight of Swords that I pulled in my channeled messages. I think that's going to be important for you. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Well, first of all, I just feel like you're poised for success. You're set up for success. You've done it before in another lifetime or in this lifetime. Maybe you've had a couple false starts or you've not been kind of putting much energy behind it. But once you do, all these nines kick in, and then we also get the Six of Wands. It's a good period for you, actually. Some of you are busy and bored, or some of you are disillusioned. And for you, these two come through. Capacity to love what you're doing and love yourself enough to do something different. Change doesn't happen overnight, so taking the steps to sort of fix this is going to be key. That is everything for wealth. If we now take a look at love and relationships, we have a lack of intimacy or maybe not enough. So the intimacy card came through reverse. We just see two lovers here embracing. It's just a nice, close sort of energy. Intimacy takes on many forms, not just sexual or sensual. When it comes to friendships in your life, it's just sharing something personal. When it comes to familial bonds, same sort of things. It's about being vulnerable and loving someone unconditionally. And when it comes to your romantic relationships, it can be sensual or sexual, but it's also the other things that I just mentioned. So intimacy, deepening the intimacy on all the different levels, not just the touch of another person, but also how connected you are. That's the first message that comes through. And again, it can benefit everyone because we all are focusing on different types of relationships, and you have a chance to strengthen the bonds this month. Now we're going to focus on 3 specific cases here. Those in a loving relationship, those looking for love, those that are happily single. If you're in a loving relationship, here's the message that I see. For some of you, there could be this sort of, you've grown used to each other. The death card in reverse can be a lack of spontaneity, a lack of sharing, just kind of taking each other for granted a little bit. So all you have to do is say, I love you, thank you. You can also take the initiative, plan something, or say, I want to do this. Is that cool? Basically you're starting to stir things up energetically a little bit. So I think one thing here is more spontaneity, more intimacy, more communication. Again, swords are absent. So anything you can do to communicate appreciation, status, concerns, progress, whatever, it's going to be beneficial. Sometimes you or the other person could be looking at your life and comparing it to others. I mean, who doesn't on some levels? The 4 of Cups reminds you that's a slippery slope. You never know, especially in this day of social media, how much of that is not cultivated, but basically a projection of a truth versus what's actually happening. So curated is the word I was looking for. A lot of times people curate the best moments and only put the best moments out there. So this card is reminding you to look beyond, because you might actually have a lot more than you realize. So appreciating and being grateful for what you've built. There's a little bit of a power struggle going on for some of you as well. Otherwise, things are okay. I think that work could just be one thing that's taking you in different directions. And so finding a common time and place to be together, whether maybe it's just, a time to eat breakfast or dinner or take a walk or whatever, some time that's only yours, and you're going to put devices on do not disturb and just focus. I think that's going to be key. It's all manageable. This is the only thing that has to be dealt with. If you don't change something, then things could get a little bit trickier for those of you that are feeling stagnation or like you've changed or they've changed. Talk about your changing goals and dreams and aspirations. Because if it's the kind of relationship that's built for success, the partner will meet you on the same level. And if not, then you know what you're dealing with. You got to talk about what's important to you, okay? And some of you may feel like that rabbit that's sort of caged into something, and maybe your partner can help you. If it's work or if it's family or something else, they can help you find that freedom to breathe and freedom to do what you need to do. Do watch the emotions. I did see that little rabbit was grumpy. I don't blame it, but it wanted to bite me. It was clawing a little bit, but I'm like, yeah, you're agitated. You're in the cage. But it didn't want to be coddled or touched so I guess one thing that I would mention, because I'm going to use the totem a bit here, is you never want to be condescending. You always want to ask if it's a good time to talk. And if it's not, wait. And allow people to feel what they need to feel. One thing that I learned, and this was a long time ago, this is when I lost my first parent, my father. Someone at work had just lost someone important to them. And because I was also fresh off of that, I said, in a brief email, and I'm sure they got a bunch of I'm sorries, but mine was a little bit different. I said, I can't say anything that's going to take away your pain. I can't make this better. but you can call me anytime you want to talk, and I'm here. Love, Nicholas. And they reached out with appreciation, because I didn't want to say it's going to be okay. I'm not sorry. Like, saying I'm sorry isn't always the best thing. Saying I'm here if you need anything. And if I can do anything to help you, don't hesitate. That's authentic. So I was like, because I had a bunch of people saying that they were sorry, and I'm like, that's not helping me. If you've been through grief, you know what I'm talking about. At a certain point, too many flowers and too many I'm sorries don't work. It's more sort of like even remembering the person or something like that. So be authentic with whoever's going through a tough thing in their life. Loss of a job, loss of a loved one, frustration, unemployment. You don't have to fix it for them. All you have to do is say, I'm your friend and I'm here. And I love you no matter what. And that will help. Again, I'm not a therapist, but it helped me in the past. So I'm just sharing experiences inspired by that card. Take it or leave it. Okay. I think that's everything I want to say on that. Let's focus on those of you that are looking for love. So if you're looking for love, let's see what's coming through here. So some of you are frustrated because it's been quiet for a while. There might have been a dry spell. You might have lost someone. You might be on a rebound. There's a change, though, in the wind. The good news is it's a change for the better. And yeah, I actually see opportunities coming through. I think there's some things that you want to focus on if you're looking for love. There's a lot of energy going into money or work. So balance that out, finish what you set out to finish, and that will kind of solve itself on some levels. You might be working yourself too hard, so take care of yourself. I see for some of you, there could be too much travel, not enough travel. So make some time for this. And we see nobody at the table. So this is something where you might have to reconnect with some of the friends. You might have to make some new friends. So you can do that through getting involved in community, church, social, legal, whatever. Anything, if you want to find like activities or activity partners or clubs or organizations or causes. And then eventually you're going to start to get some people at the table here. And that's going to help you. Because I feel that's what we're looking for, is breaking a cycle for some of you where you've been waiting for someone. So rather than looking for the person, start to create the activities of common interests that will put you in the mix, because you're very close. They're all 9s. Do a little more work on yourself, do a little bit more work on connecting. And once all of these hit the 10s, then it's kind of like a jackpot, if you will, like in Vegas. So then you're going to hit jackpot and you'll be at the right place at the right time. You're working to set up a synchronicity this month. So get involved, focus on outreach, and focus on networking. That's my advice for you, because the single person didn't show up here, the other person, but I see a lot of potential, and I think it's just about increasing that. Okay? So I'm glad that this is resonating with some people. I'm reading the chat. So yeah, just focus on getting involved. Here's the cool thing. Once you start to do some of these activities, it's fun, because like for me, even just moving into a new place, I met, maybe a dozen new people that I know now in my life. And it's inspired me to maybe restart things like yoga or, other things in my life that I've kind of put on the sideline, because you start to invariably meet the same people and you start up conversations. Just like when I walk my dog, I know everybody on my street that owns a dog. Most of the dogs, I know their names, or at least know sort of like what's going on. You start to learn the stories of people, and it's because of common interests. So try to get involved with things you love. You might meet someone you love and someone who loves what you love, which makes a really nice connection, folks. All right. For those of you that are happily single, everything that I just talked about, you're so close to completing some goals, that comes through. Some of you are focusing more on education. That's what the owl is about for you. Some of you also might be really trying to get organized in your life. And I think you're going to see a lot of success with business, school, money, and those sort of pursuits. You might also be just getting more out there, and you're going to find success in whatever you put your energy behind. Okay? Now let's focus on your destiny card. Trajectory, it shifts a little every month because you make different choices and I help you navigate them. So we have basically a version of the world card reversed, but let's look at it. This is such a cool, this looks like something out of like Guardians of the Galaxy or Star Wars or something. So we have Gaia here, this sort of tree being, creation, divine feminine energy, but the card came through reversed. So if we read her as the world reversed, this is a chance for you to look at things from another angle, like the Hanged Man. You're going to see things from a new perspective. It may be advantageous to move location, move from a job, move in or out of a relationship, or in or out of a living situation with someone. That is a change for the better. And she's saying growth is on the horizon, but the movement is what's necessary first. And it's kind of like the world that's spinning. You just have to give it that first spin. And everything in space just keeps spinning once it gets that initial momentum. I'm not an astrophysicist because I can't quite explain it, but it has something to do with space and vacuums and all that other stuff. But know this, momentum, it's just a matter of pushing it out there. Then you're going to see that spin and that rotation and that movement happen. So this month, every day, start to move things forward, start to spin things in the right direction, start to even spin your thoughts in a positive direction, and then they're going to stay there. And then you can start to see the growth and the abundance with this Gaia card. Okay? All right. Now we're going to expand this a little bit further, and we're going to look at the sun, rising, and moon messages for today. Let's see what's coming through. Oh, thank God, we finally got a swords card. Ace of Swords, Princess of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Looking pretty good. So we got a lot of what I saw in the channeled messages coming through here finally. All right, let me take a drink and then we'll talk about sun sign. All right, so for the sun sign, we got the Ace of Swords. Love this card. Love that we finally got something about communication. And so, as I was saying, the necessary piece or the missing piece of the puzzle seems to be speaking up, speaking out, writing it down, circling something that doesn't work for you. But basically, all of these things are a part of this. Ace of Swords upright is just sometimes about taking action. But in reverse, it's also about not mincing words and not wasting time. Because for many of you, you might have waited more than long enough, and this is a chance to sort of make up for lost time and really sort of see things move forward. So again, speak up, ask a question, make a revision, take some action, and consistently do that over the course of the next month and a half, and you're going to start to see some really good movement. Okay? Let's now move to rising and ascendant messages. We have the Princess of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. So for this one, it's basically about asking for something that you need. And I said this a little bit in the daily card reading. You never know until you ask. We've been trained to not rock the boat sometimes, right? And you can see her even looking really, cautiously or curiously about this, wondering like, should I ask? Can I do this? It's important to speak up. It's also an affirmative card when it comes to, for those of you that are thinking, I really want to do this for myself. I really want to get a healing appointment. I really want to go to school. I really want to read this book. I really want to take this trip. If it's for enrichment and if the budget allows and if you've been waiting for it and saving up for it, this card is just saying, if not now, then when? You've done the work. Yes, do something that's going to allow for growth and experience in your life, okay? See if there's anything specific to this. I think that's pretty much it. I do like that her feet are on the ground and she's barefoot in this one. So this is also kind of begging you to be more grounded because all of your earth energy, even Gaia herself, she was reversed. So anything you can do to really make sure that you are grounded, bringing it into sort of like a formula or a schedule or something that you can do, that's going to help. And then stay grounded in gratitude, of course, just being grateful for what's in front of you, what you've experienced, and what you still have the capacity to do. Every day is a blessing, okay? But drive a hard bargain for those of you that are trying to purchase a house or negotiate a salary. You have the potential to get a little bit more. Don't be ridiculous, but I would say, push just a little bit, It's worth it. You're worth it. All right, looking at moon sign messages, we got the King of Pentacles. This is amazing. So he has all the same energy of the Queen card, plus he has the ability to really take it to the next level. What I like about this is if we look in the corner, yet another little tiny bird, like a little sparrow or robin. Looks a little bit like a robin because I think the coloring looks like that. So he's also listening. Good listening skills are going to be key to opening up more abundance when it comes to money, jobs, and resources. He's listening. He hasn't forgotten the importance of that. The thing that's interesting with the card in reverse, there could be some home improvements that need to happen. There could be a little bit of reaching for something higher at work, something about changing the structure. So at home, again, doing what you need to feel more comfortable. At work, pushing through the glass ceiling and reaching a little higher, reaching out and seeing if there's anything better. You haven't reached the pinnacle just yet because that card would be upright otherwise. But I see the potential there, so it's worth reaching and asking. There can also be someone in your midst that will take as much as you're willing to give them. So when I'm not looking at you, for you, this is about self-growth, fulfilling goals and dreams, etc. If I look at someone else and their King of Pentacles reverse, they're annoying because they don't listen, they don't give back, they're focused on themselves. So good boundaries are going to be important if you see that energy in your life. And it's just a gentle nudge for you to like gratitude and like thank you goes a long way. Thank you so much for this, or I appreciate this. Heartfelt, of course. And then if you have a little, give a little. So you can always give back in a way that feels right. And interestingly enough, the law of detachment sort of sets in here. So once you've accomplished something and you've got a decent amount saved up, when you give, you'll invariably start to receive more because it's just this sort of constant, the universe is like, oh, you're not afraid that that's all. Okay, great. We'll bring more your way. So it's always good to give a little time, give a little love, give a little donation or something to a cause that's important to you. That helps open up abundance too. And it can just be a volunteering time or listening to a friend. It doesn't have to be money. And those are my pieces of advice for that. Okay. We're going to look at one final, well, not the final card, but we're going to look at one big idea card to just tie it all together. And then we'll go from there. All right. The big idea is I really want to focus this particular big idea on these opportunities that are kind of hidden. So how can you achieve or reach those opportunities that are just beyond reach? There we go. Let's see. Okay, we got two. So I'll take it. The big ideas, if you will. So the first one is healing. This is the one that I actually drew from the deck. Three of Swords is saying, this too shall pass, but it's important to really come to a place where you feel that you're happy. Remember, Lord Ganesha also reminded you that you have the capacity to love. We have a lot of green energy in both of these cards. So love yourself, forgive yourself, give yourself permission to move on and to be happy. Sometimes that's something we have to do when someone that we love in our life leaves us. And guess what's underneath this? It's your 10 that I saw on the horizon. So we have just a really happy card here. This can be community, friendship, love, partnership, all of the above. So I do see something great on the horizon for you. Keep doing the work that you're doing. Keep getting involved, like I said. Plugging into those extracurriculars can help connect you to the 10, all right? And lo and behold, right behind the girl, we have a rainbow. So I think, the sorrow that's felt in the Three of Swords is still honored here, but this is about moving beyond the sorrow. This is what's on the other end of the rainbow, which is beautiful. Okay. So before we get into the next portion, just a quick reminder, we're going to take a look here in just a moment at the meditation. Before we do that, please hit the like and subscribe. Occasionally, I will throw out a impromptu video or something that's special that isn't announced, and I want you to be able to see that. Plus, you can chat if you subscribe. So simple way to give back. You can also follow me on social media. It's always my full name, no changes in spelling, no additional characters. If you ever need to double check, you can go to my website to make sure you've got the right addresses. I don't offer readings, and I don't use direct messages or comments to offer products or services. Anyone who does that is not me. And I already saw we got some stickers and things coming through, so thank you to those that have given back. I'll say thank you at the very end to each of you. All right, with that being said, let's focus on the meditation, and I want to use the energy of the rainbow because that was beautiful. While we are meditating and before you sign off, stick around because I'm going to answer one final question. So the final question works this way. If there's anything today, I do my best to cover it all, but if there's anything I didn't cover, then I'd love for you to write that down. Keep it to yourself until after I pulled the card, but then I will take a look at that and see what Spirit has to say, all right? If you will, please stick with me for the next minute or two as we meditate. Close your eyes and imagine that you are stepping out of the forest after a rainstorm. You kind of hid out there while the rain was doing what it needed to do, and now that the clouds are starting to part, you can just see the beautiful glistening. It's almost like a sea of diamonds, all these little drops of light on the blades of grass, on the flowers. You can see a little bit of mist in the horizon. As you take a deep breath, you can smell the beautiful scent of earth, petrichor. You can smell a little bit of ozone laced in the air from the rain. You can still hear a little bit of the drops of rain as they're kind of falling off the trees because it's still, the storm is just wrapping up. Finding a place that's dry where you can sit down. Take a moment here to just take it all in. The sun now is coming through the clouds and you can see a double rainbow in front of you. Imagine that you are at the other end of the rainbow. You're at the end where all of the riches, all of the opportunity is starting to come through. Imagine that the rainbow is pointing straight at each and every chakra point. It's nicely connected to the chakra colors. So in this moment in time, just receive an upgrade and allow yourself to heal and allow the universe to reveal whatever is next for you. Just breathe, enjoy, and we'll take a look at your last question in just a moment. As you're listening to the final tone here ringing out, allow your thoughts to expand, your heart to open, and see that energy of the rainbow wrap itself around you, carrying with you the sense of growth and hope and healing and abundance. All right, turn your attention, if you will, towards the final question that you have for me. Give yourself another inhale and exhale. And on the next natural exhale, I'd love for you to slowly open your eyes and let's take a look at the question that you have and let's see what the universe has to say. So just hold it in your heart and mind for a moment and give the cards a shuffle, see what's coming through. Okay, it's a great card. We have the Two of Wands for the final card. It was reversed, but it's still an auspicious card. And basically with the Two of Wands in reverse, there's a common theme today, which is unexpected directions, opportunities, things coming from a different angle, a different perspective. Staying open to that is what's important. Two of Wands is also highly intuitive and creative. So when something comes through, don't second guess it. Don't try to make it fit in a box that it doesn't fit in. Really allow yourself to go with it. And the traditional Two of Wands is a person that's holding that globe and setting it into motion, which is a beautiful connection to what I was talking about with Gaia. So here's Gaia. And remember, I was saying she just kind of wants you to set a new habit, a new trajectory, a new spin on things. And once you do, then you'll be able to achieve what you see there. So see it, think it, do it, and consistently do that. And you're going to really have a great month ahead. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today, whether you've been a longtime viewer or this is your first time here. Always honored and grateful to have people show up and hold some space with me as well. All right, I'd like to give a quick thanks to everybody that became a new member today, as well as all of my existing members. So give me just a moment here as I'm pulling up the membership tab. So let's see who the newest ones are, and then we'll go on to the stickers. Okay, so Tamara, thank you so much. Angela, Al, thank you very much. Monica, Raven, Renee, and Judith. We also have Liza with a Z. I think a lot of these joined me yesterday, but I'll say thanks again today just in case. Shooting for the Stars, Just Be. Thank you guys for being a part of the channel. It's good to have you. If I missed anyone, thank you now, just in case some of you join a little bit later. For supers, super stickers, super chat, and super thanks, give me just a moment here and I will acknowledge you. Renita, good to see you. Thank you so much. Blissful and Gil, thanks guys for giving back today. I appreciate that so much. Let's see. Also looks like we have Lulia there. Thank you very much. And I'll quickly scan and see here if I missed anybody. I don't think I did. Also, welcome back to Tracy, Sapo, Paula, Playtable Games, Laura, and let's see. I think I caught everyone else that's a existing member. I already welcome the new ones. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. I'll be back again on Thursday and Friday for the next monthly videos. I'm here every Sunday for a weekly collective, and you can catch my daily reading on the main channel by clicking on the Shorts tab, and all of the replays by clicking on Live, not videos, but live. All right? Lots of love and light to all of you. Have a fantastic day ahead. Do something special for yourself, and remember to have some fun. It came through not less than 3 times today, I think. So lots of love and light to all of you. Bye-bye.